Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum to you all. I'm back with the next part of the series of CBTs which we are making on XEN. In this video, in this part, I'm going to show you two things. Number one, how can we create a virtual machine directly on a partition of the physical host, directly on a partition on the hard drive of the physical host, instead of creating it in a file as we created earlier, or I should say contrary to as we created earlier. The second thing is at the same time, while we create a VM directly on the disk partition, we would be creating a fully virtualized VM, and I'm going to show you how you can install Windows XP or Windows Vista or even Windows 7 maybe. I don't know. I have the evaluation version of Windows 7 with me. I'm not sure if it will install correctly, but still I'm going to experiment in front of you. But first, to keep things simple, I'll just go with XP and see if it works or not. So the first thing, what I've done is behind the scenes, I would say, while I was absent for some long time, I have done the following. Before, I had this very big partition of slash data. It was like 110 gigabytes, and this was my root partition. What I've done is I've kind of rearranged the disk space, especially for slash data. So what I did was I shut down these test VMs, VM1 and 2, which we created in earlier videos, removed their disk images, cleaned up some space on the root file system, moved the CD images which I had for, like CentOS, to cleaned up space in a temporary location slash data to unmounted slash data, and then deleted the partition, recreated a 30 GB partition and assigned it slash data here. Then my disk now looks like something like this. This is the new 30 GB partition which I'm going to use as slash data. Here it's mounted, and I've put some ISO images, a lot of ISO images in this partition. So now I have this like I would show here. This is 160 GB of disk, okay, and about this is the extended partition, 135 GB to be precise, and 30 GB is used for this slash data. So about 100 GB is still left unpartitioned. So what we are going to do is we are going to create some small partitions in this unpartitioned space. I'll show you how can we create a VM directly on a small partition. Then we'll create LVM, and I'll show you how can we create a VM on a LVM slice, and possibly how an LVM can be extended. So that is the reason why I have kind of rearranged the disk partition on my machine physical host, which I call storage. So an fdisk-l is exactly showing the same thing here which I just showed you, and df-h shows you that slash data has a lot of stuff in it, and about 18 GB, and I'll show you what it is. CD slash data, CD images. Here I've got CentOS ISO 64-bit, I've got Vista image, I've got Windows 7 64-bit, Windows 7 32-bit, Windows XP ISO. So this is what I'm going to use, these ISOs, to create VMs, and the VMs I'm going to create directly on disk partition. So to start off with that, I'm going to do fdisk slash dev slash SDA. I'll print the current partition table, and here in this space I'm going to create not exactly this space, but just to give you a visual idea, I'm going to create a new partition It's going to be a logical partition. Come on, L, and first cylinder I'll just press enter. Last cylinder I'm going to create I would say plus 4000 or let's say 5000 M would be enough for XP, I suppose. Let's create only okay, let's press Control C and do it again. New logical, first cylinder, press default, and now I'm going to create 10 GB 10000 MB. It's not like this, plus 10000 M. So I press enter. Now I print the partition table. So I've got this about 10 GB of partition, which says that it is a Linux partition, but it doesn't matter. I'll just press W. So this is in fact going to be a disk. This partition SDS6 is going to be a disk for one of my virtual machines. I'll show you in a moment how. So I press W and device or resource busy. So what we are going to do is part probe, and that's all. Now we'll start our favorite, the only available virtual machine manager to us right now is this virtual machine manager, still running, and I left it at the same place where we left last time. So let's create new, forward. I'm going to call it WinXP. Next, and now I'm going to use full virtualized. And I told you earlier that my CPU supports virtualized extension, but still, just one more time, I'm going to show you grep minus color VMX, I believe it's VMX, and obtain this information from /proc/CPU info, and you see that this is available, this flag is available to my physical machine. That means this processor has Intel VT, the hardware assisted fully virtualization support or extensions. Okay, minimize this, fully virtualized. I'm going to use 64-bit architecture, because even I use 64-bit architecture, I can still use 32-bit OS on it. And my hypervisor is Xen, because I have not installed KVM on this machine. So it's going to be Xen. Okay, so mind it that or keep in mind that you can still, if you are not sure, you still can use i686, which is the 32-bit version of your processor. So I can safely select this. If it doesn't work, then we can fall back to 32-bit. I don't know how Windows XP will behave. Okay, so let's move on. Press forward. It's going to be local install media ISO image, that's correct, and I'm going to select OS type as Windows and Windows XP68 x86, because I suppose I've got 32-bit ISO image with me. Okay, so let's press forward, and ISO image is /data CD images and WinXP ISO. Alright, so press open. Alright, and that's all. Press next, and here is the place where you would mention the disk. Either you can mention a file which would be created here, and you can specify a file size here, or you can specify the block device or partition. In our case, if you remember, we created this SDS6, right? So copy this and give it to this. Okay, so you see there's no file size here. because whatever the size of the partition would be in fact the size of this virtual disk now for your virtual machine. Okay, press forward, and I can, okay, let's go with this default virtual network. Otherwise I can show you how to how this physical Ethernet is shared. Let's go with, let's not change so many variables at one time. So let's go with virtual network default, press forward, and I can give it 1 GB of memory so it can at least install faster, and I can give it 2 processors. Let's see if it can handle this. Okay, press forward and we are ready to go. This is summary screen, fully virtualized, 1 GB, 1 GB, 2 CPUs. This is going to be ISO. Disk size, it has automatically calculated out of this partition that's going to be 9.5 GB of disk, and MAC address will be assigned on runtime, and no audio is available. I believe I've configured it in a way that I have unselected hardware, probably the storage, probably the audio I've configured not to be available to virtual machines. Anyway, that's not important. Let's move on with finish and see what happens. Okay, come on. Okay, booting, setup is inspecting. I've just clicked full screen for you. Okay, Windows setup. Okay. Okay. So far so good. Okay, come on. Okay. I'm also keeping an eye on the hard disk activity LED on my storage physical machine, which of course I can see from here. Oh, great. To set up XP, press enter. Okay, enter. And user license agreement. Yeah, I agree. Press F8. Oops, F8 brings up VNC menu. Oh no. Send F8. Oh, lovely. Send F8. Yeah, that's what I want. And unpartitioned space. Yeah, go ahead. Delete this whole thing. Create. Press C, and now create partition of this size. Yeah, okay. Press enter. Lovely. I wonder why it always keeps this 8 MB partition. I wonder why. It's been ages now. At least, yeah, 10, 12 years that I'm seeing this behavior. Anyway, create partition in unpartitioned space. Press C. It's done. Okay, I believe I just have to press enter now. Okay. Yeah, okay, what is this? Format NTFS. Okay. This one would be okay, I guess. Quick NTFS. Oh, okay, great. It's about time that I install Windows. I can safely say that probably, other than this training demonstration installation, I believe it's more than 2 years maybe that I've installed Windows elsewhere. Okay, it seems to be working, and it's copying files, and I believe that it will take some time, and I'll, since I cannot pause this video, let's think of something interesting to do. By the way, guys, viewers, all of you, I have good news to share with you. That just about 2 days ago, three days ago, I believe, the result of my CISSP exam came out, and alhamdulillah, thanks God, I've cleared the exam. So it's quite good news for me, for myself at least. I just wanted to share with you. Okay, while this system copies files, let's see, view, can I select view or something? Come on, is it too busy? Oh, come on. I guess it will not allow me to do anything else till that time. Yeah, it's very busy. So what I can do is I can show you something. Okay, let's see. Yeah, virtualization. What I've done is recently I've uploaded a diagram of which I created myself on Zen networking on this page. Oh, sorry, you're not able to see that. Okay, here. You remember this link? So come on, yeah, here. So I created this diagram for you. I spent some time on it, and it's going to be great for you, I'm sure. I put all the detail which I could possibly do in this link, in this diagram. Okay, so it might be interesting to give it a look. I'm sure it's very easy to understand. It basically shows you your Zen hypervisor physical host. This whole white box which you see, this whole white box is your physical machine, and your Ethernet card becomes PETH0, physical Ethernet 0, and then you've got this Zen bridge 0 in it, and you've got this virtual interfaces 1, virtual interface 2, and you've got two domains connected to it which are configured to use shared physical device, and that's why they are connected to Zen bridge. And since it's Zen bridge and you need to communicate to it, the physical Ethernet 0 device, as explained earlier in my first video or second video, is copied as Ethernet 0, and this one has the same IP address 0.10, which is of the outside network here, 0.0/1. This is your physical LAN. So this Ethernet 0 here is of the same network which exists outside. So this is in fact your bridge. And next interesting thing is your virtual bridge. This is the default for default network mechanism nowadays. You see these two domains I've created here, they also have Ethernet 0, Linux machines, virtual machines, but they have this 192.168.122 network. These machines, domain 1 and 2, they were on the shared physical device, so they have the same IPs 0.11 and 0.12, which are of the physical LAN outside. But these machines, these two domains, domain 3 and 4, they have this 192.168.122.x IP, and they are connected here in the same way, virtual interface 3 and 4, to this virtual bridge 0. And since this physical host needs to communicate, or this domain 0 needs to communicate to this the virtual bridge 0, you can imagine it to be a big network card like this I've drawn here, and this network card having this IP 192.168.122.1. So this way, this bridge, virtual bridge 0, is accessible, and the domains connected to it are accessible to domain 0 because it's the directly connected interface magically plugged in to this domain 0. And this domain 0 has this magical NAT router or NAT services or DNS mask or DNS masquerade services running here. So whatever packets come here, they are NATed and sent to Ethernet 0, where they are masqueraded as 192.168.0.10 and are sent out through this physical Ethernet 0 out to LAN, physical LAN. and once they come back they follow the same route and they come in here, and from here they're transferred here, and from here their NAT is stripped off again, back translated back to original IPs, and then sent back to these domains here. And these are the virtual patch cables which I mentioned earlier in my document and are also mentioned somewhere around here on the text above. And this is your virtual uplink connecting Xen bridge to physical Ethernet 0, and this is your actual physical uplink to the switch or patch cable to your physical switch. So this diagram, I'm sure you will like it, and it will be very helpful in understanding the concepts of Xen networking. Okay, so let's minimize this, and oops, gets not running because probably must have restarted. So let's select virtual machine, run, and okay, booting from hard disk. Come on. Wow. All right. Okay. Come on, show your face. Yeah, okay, great. So XP at least shows its face. I don't know if it will log in or not, or I'm just joking maybe. Let's see. So this was quite fast, I believe, or is it? I'm not sure if the installation is complete or not, or will it ask for few more things before going on. I believe the copying setup files part is done already. Okay, these steps are left. Oh yeah, it will take time. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll not waste any more of your time. I'll stop this video here, and I'll catch up with you in the next video and see if it will be running. Okay, so thank you for watching.